Yes, I'm in a domestic violence crisis that involves a police department, and I'm. How can you help me get out of? It's like
Okay,
stalking, and I've been threatened, guns pulled on me, and I'm afraid, and I want to get in a safe environment.
are you at the police department right now?
Um,
I'm so, are you there?
I'm,
I thought,
I'm, I'm not.
okay. So what, can you tell me a little bit about what's going on? I mean,
I'm in a domestic violence situation that involves the police, and I don't feel safe. I've had guns pulled on me, and I
okay,
wanted to get an environment with a support system and advocacy and direction on
okay,
how to combat the abuse. It's been going on years.
okay. So you have, um, you have contacted the police then.
Right.
I mean, is this, okay. All right. And, do you need a protective order or something like that? Or are you going to reload, are you going to go into a shelter?
I mean, how can you help? How can you help me? I don't know. I need
Well, I mean,
direction, advocacy, and
unless,
case
I'm,
management.
I'm sorry.
I need advocacy and case management. How can you help?
Okay. So
How can you help?
are you
How can you
help,
help?
are you needing to
How
come
can you
into,
help?
are you needing to,
For
are you needing
years,
to
people
come to
don't
the
want me to
shelter?
know. For years, everywhere I call on my phone has does not. I've completely random place all over. No location wants me to know how they can help. Do you not want me to know how you can help at this location? Random location.
Well,
I've called trying to escape abuse
I mean,
tonight.
are you wanting to go into to leave the relationship and go into a shelter? Is that what
I
you mean?
wanted to know how you can help, ma'am. Can we start there?
Well, yes. You know, if you need to get out of the situation and you need a place to stay, that's what we do here. We also have an office in Rockwall, and we've got a legal person there, and if you need to file a protective order, or I don't know if you have done that, or if you filed charges, I'm not really sure what the situation was, but, um, I know to do a protective order, I think you do have to file charges. I mean, are you married or do you want
I
to
just don't
avoid this? Or,
understand why people know where I call wants me to know how they can help. That's a form of denying me services for years. It doesn't feel
okay,
very
I
good when
mean,
you call all over the United States and they all sabotage services for years and you get nothing resolved and forced to live in a tent for years. So I call all around
in
for
a tent.
years, and everywhere I call is counterfeiting calls and pretending like they're trying to assist me, but actually they're sabotaging assistance and playing games. So I just wanted to know
Well,
why
that
you don't
doesn't
want me to
sound
know how
right.
you can help there. Like no play,
Well,
no.
we have a shelter, you know, for women and children here to get out of the situation that you're protected. You know, here we have to be very careful with that. I don't know where you're calling from, but we're located in Greenville, Texas, and we do have we have support groups like twice a week. Um, I think they're still doing it through
So
Zoom
a domestic violence
or
situation that involves the police, you have shelter and you have support groups.
yes. If you're needing to leave, or I mean, is he keeping you from leaving or
Yeah, he's keeping me from housing and services. He enlists people for conspiracy to violate civil rights crimes and blacklisting me from escaping abuse, even at church. Hacking phone networks, all kinds of extreme chaos. So I'm blacklisted from services
wow?
all over. But we still haven't got to
So
where you can help with this location because I'm sorry, but for years I've called and called and called and called, and it seems like every place that I call is covering for the abuse and depriving me of services and in person. So I
okay,
just wanted to,
you know,
I don't feel comfortable because I mean, I don't have a lot of education and a comfort level of knowing how you can assist me and help me get out of my abuse that involves the police department.
well, I mean, if you need, I don't know if you're married or not. I mean, when we try to help people leave the situation that they're in, if they can get away from their abuser, they come into the shelter, and then there's no more contact with the abuser once they get here. and you know, and then go from there. I don't know if you have children with this person. Most
Yeah, that's
people
the
that call us
problem that, every location I
they
call
need a place
covers
to
for the
stay.
abuser. So just get
Well, you
away. I
have to.
mean, that
What you
typically, what happens? How do women get protected? I mean, what's your position?
I'm a shelter. I'm an advocate for the clients here.
Okay, you're
I answer the
advocate and you
hotline all night. I
recommend that I
work
just get
nights.
shelter and
I work
then just
eight at
let it
night
be?
till
You just get shelter and
I'm
just let
sorry.
it be?
Well, I mean, have you filed charges on him, or I mean, I don't really understand. I mean, are you calling from here in Greenville or Dallas, or
I just don't
are
understand
you?
how you haven't communicated to me as well as no other place that I've called for years on getting assistance and getting escaping abuse for years.
Well,
So I
the
just don't
assistance
have a
that
lot of
we
clarity on
offer,
what you will
the
do with your
assistance that we
position as an
offer here is
advocate.
shelter for people who need to leave the relationship. And I mean, if that's what you're wanting to do, you have to agree not to talk to the abuser again and possibly relocate. Uh,
So the
they
only
have
thing that you
crime victim
provide at
trump.
this location is just shelter and that's it?
Well, shelter and support groups. We try to assist the ladies to get on, get a job, to get on their feet. We don't have our own transitional housing that some shelters do, where they can help with, getting go. We're an emergency shelter, really, is that
Okay, so you can
we
help them
come
get a
in and help you
job.
to stay in
So, I
contact.
mean, what if the stalking and the abuser consistently harasses them and terrorizes them? You think they'll stop getting
Well,
into the shelter?
if you have you would I would suggest you file a protective order. You cannot have any contact with the abuser once you get it. If he
Okay,
finds out your
so I filed a
location, if he
protection order
finds
on
out
my
that you're
own,
here,
ma'am. So you
I'm
want me to
sorry.
file a protection order on my own?
What do you mean? We have a legal person here that will help you, or they've actually, if you want to file a protective order for Hunt County, which is here, Rockwall County is our office in Rockwall. Um, they can help you do that. I mean, I don't know. You don't have to file it on. You mean physically file it on your own? I'm not sure what you're asking.
Yes, because I'm asking you
I
the
think.
services you provide, and I'm not getting a lot of information on the services you help assist with, the what avenues you assist people.
Well, that we provide shelter
You
and
said that
uh,
multiple times, and you should have said shelter, and you had support groups.
right. If you would like to call back and talk to my director, she'll be here in the morning at 8.
So
I
are
answer
you
the
depriving me of
hotline.
a safe environment tonight if I have to leave? And women don't call. I need to help in the middle of the night. The night.
If you need a place to stay tonight, I can give you some numbers to call. If you're here in Greenville, the closest shelter from here, because we're at capacity right now, and I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
have.
I've
I would
went through
say the
this
first thing.
years. I mean, I've called all the way to Greenville, and I've called, in fact, all over the United States, and I had to live in a tent because no place on the planet had avenues for women fleeing a domestic violence situation that involved the police. That I called all over on my
Well,
phone. So for
so
years,
I
I
mean,
mean, I
are you
called
are
all
you
over. I was in
needing a physic? Are you
Texarkana.
needing someone to pick you up from that situation? I don't really.
Yeah, I tried to go in
I,
hiding. I tried to contact victim witness. No place on the planet, period. I tried to get in witness protection. I tried to get law enforcement involved. The advocates, no place, period, on the planet would let me stay in
why
it.
could you not get witness protection with that? I mean, if you need to be relocated, they will do that. It's crime
I
victim
can't get
compensation.
services anywhere. I went to City Square, all organizations, local organizations, even out.
Everyone turned you down. I mean, are they turning you down or what?
Everyone. I went to churches. Police came to remove me from there. It's the biggest conspiracy to violate scheme I have ever seen. I've never
So
seen
is
nothing
he?
like it. When I realized they
How
were
does
doing
he
it,
get?
COVID happened.
How do you get away? I mean, you're not able to get away from him? Is
I
that what
just
you're
don't
saying?
understand why this organization is not assisting me in any avenues to help me escape it, knowing all the abuse that I'm experiencing. I just don't understand how you can't help me find a solution, and that's what you are supposed to do.
I don't either personally. If you've been calling for years trying
I
to
mean,
get help,
I'm
I
not
don't
getting help at
understand
this particular location is the key. This one is at capacity, and
why.
you're not trying to get me in a safe environment, as no one else has been for years.
We have families to freedom now is an organization that will come pick you up wherever
But
you
we
are
have
and let
you.
you
Where how am I getting
get out.
shelter, ma'am? If every place I call is sabotaging it and being dishonest and denying me services for
What do you
years
mean?
all over the United States,
You've called all over the United
all over
States and
every
every
last
shelter.
place I called was being dishonest, lying, sabotaging assistance, advocacy.
I don't know about that
I even
because
tried to
I mean
speak with advocates, civil rights advocates all over. They covered for crimes, so it's mysterious. It may have something to do with why police were waiting at AT&T and why they give me criminal
I
trespasses trying to be on a regular network. It may have something to do why they
I
commit the crime and guard my phone and entice my providers to commit crimes. But right now, at this
I
particular
don't know.
location, you're an advocate and you don't have any solutions for me to escape the abuse and advocate for me and give me direction besides
What
shelter and
what you
support groups.
well, we provide shelter, and if you need physical help to get out of the apartment or the house, I would call the police, and I can give you some numbers for some other shelters to call if you would like, or you can call in the morning and talk to my boss. She's Rebecca Crystal Johnson. She'll be here about 8.
Okay, well, I'll
I'm
call in
glad to.
California. And I'll call a domestic violence place in California and then see if I can relocate there because I've tried here and you
Okay.
don't want me to know the services you offer. And then I called another
Well, that's.
location that didn't want me to know the services they offer.
I think you're assuming some. I mean, I
I,
don't
ma'am, I
understand
don't. I asked you
why
how
you
you could
haven't done it
help
this
and
way
you are
because
playing. Ma'am,
I'm not refusing to help you.
okay, well then
Um,
how can we get help? I mean, you're not giving me direction on what I need to do. If it's
what
I'm in
kind
a
of help do you need? Do you know what kind of help
I
you
want
need? I mean,
advocacy. Are you refusing to tell me how you can
do you
help?
need a ride?
Are
Do you
you
need a
refusing
ride
to
from
tell me
where
how
you're
you can
living?
help,
Are you
ma'am?
still living?
How can you help
I'm
me?
sorry.
How can you help me? How can you help?
How can I help you
Yes, at that.
personally? Um, I can give you some phone numbers for the shelters to call because we don't have room here. But I don't know where you are, if you're in Dallas or wherever. But I don't really know what you've been through. It sounds like you've been through a lot.
Okay, so I mean,
I
I for years, ma'am, you still have not stated in this 12-minute call how you can help me. If you're
I can
full, does
help
that
you,
mean
but
that you're denying me services,
well,
ma'am?
I'm not sure what you want. I'm not sure what kind of help you are asking for.
They've said that
I
years,
mean,
ma'am. This is abuse, ma'am. It's abusive because you don't want me to know how you can help. You're not giving me any comfort, any
no,
support. This is
you're
abuse.
not giving me any information as to
You're
what kind of help
gaslighting me,
you need.
ma'am, and this has went on
If you
years.
need
Why
shelter,
would you not want me to
if you
know
need
all the way in Greenville what you offer there?
I I'm not keeping you from knowing what we offer here. What do you mean?
Well,
I
what
know
do
you
you
need to
do
call
there to
back
help women,
my boss
ma'am?
in the morning.
What do
I'm
you
sorry.
do?
I don't. I can't hear
This has
you.
went
What?
on years. Let me try to talk to the next scammer in California. She's not. They're not upping it. This is all the way random call in Greenville. I would go. I would relocate because I mean, it's scams. It's the government is enforcing it. I just want you to see the level of power that's abused that I went through years. I'm as safe as I will be get.
Sorry, say that again.
I'm as safe as I'll get to talk.
Okay. All right. And what's your first and last name?
It's Kiana Clark. You're located in Florida.
Correct. Where are
Oh,
you currently located?
I'd like to get to. We'll talk about that later. I'm trying to flee, relocate, and get out of a domestic violence crisis that involves the police department.
Okay.
Yes, so I'm in a domestic violence crisis that involves the police department. I've had guns pulled on me. There's a wealthy stalker. So I'm gang stalked. My son was hit with a car. Someone waited till he took the trash outside and hit him with a car, and the police department tried to cover for it. I've had multiple different assaults that were staged and set up for harassment schemes. Someone hit my car. There was interference with child custody crimes, child abuse involved in my daughter. I can't get law enforcement at a multitude of locations for all this chaos going on. I reported child abuse. They're so corrupt, they gave me a ticket for reporting child abuse. So, how can you help?
Well, it depends on where you're located currently.
Okay, how can you help?
So I would usually refer to where you're currently located.
I'm not being heard. Are you just denying me services all the way in Florida?
Well, I would refer you to services that are closer to you.
I wanted to get help in Florida. That's why I called. So I wanted to know how this location could help.
Well, I would recommend calling 211, and they will connect you with services in your area.
So you don't want to give me services at this location? After you had me here give you all that information, are you depriving me of services, ma'am, like they've been doing years? Every call?
No, I'm advising you to reach out to.
I don't know. I want to get services there. I don't know why every call for years and the domestic violence crisis that you heard was extreme hit and runs.
An advocate will be with you shortly. If you are in danger, please hang up and dial 911.
It's sick. This is what I've experienced years. Disregarding my life, violating. I would be in tears because I was so terrified, and they would really be rude because I did not, because I wasn't recording. So she put me on hold in the middle of a crisis. I'll wait and see what's going on. Weird numbers because I called all the way from Greenville for domestic violence help. I was listening to the video. She hung up. She put me on hold and hung up all the way in Florida. I know people that thought I was joking. No, every single call, years.
Assaulted women's helpline. Can I help you?
Yes, what did I call?
This is the assaulted women's helpline.
Okay, I'm not quite sure where to call because police have assaulted me in my abuse as well. I've had multiple different assaults. My abuser hires a lot of.
Are you trying to call us?
I'm sorry?
Are you trying to call the assaulted women's helpline?
I was telling you about my abuse, ma'am. I don't know why people are so rude when I try to get help, even at church.
So you are calling the assaulted women's helpline. So tell me, how can I help you?
This is the assault. What, may I have your name?
My name is Rose.
Okay, and you help women that are fleeing domestic violence situations?
We try to help if there are services available.
Oh, there's some of women you can't help because I haven't had the help for years, ma'am, calling all over the United States. You have to see it to believe it. For years, I have been in tears, having nervous breakdowns, calling all over the country, getting denied services. Every last one, every location, every service you can have offered was denied for years. Ma'am, you're in Canada?
Yes, we are in Canada.
Yes, that's one. Yeah, that's where I'm trying to get assistance, ma'am, in Canada.
Where are you calling from?
I'm telling you, Canada. That's where I'm getting assistance.
What city are you calling from?
Are you in Canada?
I told you, yes, we are in Canada.
Okay, I'm in that area that I just called.
Okay, what city are you calling from?
What city are you in? She hung up. Scammers. She already knew I wasn't in Canada. She's not supposed to know. Why would she hang up? Because I asked her where she was located. Let me call back. Yeah, I would just have meltdowns. I know people did not believe me. No, every single call. Let me try again. In Canada. Yes. Can I know how you assist women?
Sorry?
Can I know how you help?
Can I help you with something?
You don't want me to know how you can help women?
What is the reason for your call, ma'am?
I was wanting to know how you can help, and then I'll tell you. If I don't know how you can help, I can't give you the reason. Can you tell me how you can help, and then I can tell you what I need?
So we provide peer support counseling and resources.
Okay, let me look at the channel webpage because it said that you do a little bit more. Okay, do you help provide shelter for women?
Well, it's part of our resource, yes.
Okay, so I like to flee a domestic violence crisis and get into safety, like in hiding, that involves the government.
What city are you calling from?
Where are you located?
We're in Canada.
Okay, then there.
What city are you calling from, ma'am?
What city are you in, ma'am?
We support all of Canada. What city are you calling from?
I guess Toronto.
I guess Toronto. Doesn't sound like you're sure where you're calling from.
Well, I'm just trying to relocate and get help, and I like to get down to the part of getting the situation resolved and how you could help, and then we can go from there if it's okay. I wanted to relocate.
Okay, can I have some more details regarding your situation?
Are you able to tell me first how you can help before you get more details? Basically, I'm in a domestic violence crisis that involves a police department, and I've had assaults. There's been hit and runs, interference with child custody crimes, all kinds of chaos.
Okay. Are you actually calling from Canada?
I wanted to know how you could help. I did address to you that I was, and I wanted to know how you could help all the way in Canada. Because I've been calling years and no place ever in all the years that I've been calling, all the numbers, countless hours. No place wanted me to know how they could help, and they all played games for years. So can you tell me how you could help?
Based on what you're saying, it doesn't sound like you're calling from Canada.
Who did someone tell you that, ma'am, already? Because I don't know why you would just deflect and just assume I'm not calling from Canada, ma'am.
Based on your wording just now, it doesn't sound
okay.
Like
so are you? So you don't let women flee abuse? You try to enforce where they live. So they just can't choose to relocate and live there. You have to enforce that they live in Canada. Now women fleeing abuse can't choose where they're living and relocate.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, so I wanted to get down to the bottom of getting services because I haven't been rendered the services years, ma'am, for years. Hours and hours and hours of calls to get mistreated, hung up on, lied to, slandered, violated all over the country. Are you unwilling to tell me how you could help, ma'am?
Well, you're not providing any information that I can assist.
I don't know why you gaslight me, ma'am, as they've done years in Canada.
So at this point, I'm going to end this call because you're not really being very cooperative.
Why would you gaslight me, ma'am? That's abusive. And then, try to keep me from services and hang up because I want to know what you help with. I don't know why I've experienced this years, ma'am, at every last call, ma'am. Are you sure that you're a domestic violence location? Because I don't understand why all domestic violence locations all over the United States, all the way in Canada, is rude, ma'am. I don't know why they were waiting at AT&T and had to give me a criminal trespass to keep... She hung up.